Hello. I want to tell you about a little secret. Well, it's not really a secret at all. It's something I would love to shout from the rooftops, and it's something I want to impart to you today. Now, this is something that I've been practicing now for a little while, and it's definitely come from my background in neurolinguistic programming, and it's definitely come from my deep desire and pursuit of unshakable inner peace through facing my shadows and having the courage to look at my triggers. Now, for all of you who are aware, we know that our triggers are opportunities for us to see unhealed wounds within us. Our triggers are gifts from the divine to show us what we still need to look at in our own lives that has been in the darkness, that has not been seen by us or observed by us. So we repress it. And what resists persists. So triggers are usually a beautiful physical manifestation because we start to feel that in the outside world of something that we've deeply pushed down in our lives. So for anyone who isn't already doing this, I believe it's really, really important to start to see triggers as something wonderful in your life, not something that you should run away from, escape from, or distract yourself from. Triggers are absolutely gold in our lives. And so if you start to change your perception and approach and understanding and point of view around triggers, you're going to start to flow more in your life. So on this topic of triggers, now, as we move into more chaotic times, as we can all attest in our lives right now, it feels like someone's turned up the notch in terms of intensity right there out in the world right now. As we move more into that, it's important that we are aware that we will be triggered if we have unhealed wounds in our life. And we're all human. That's part of the experience, to have that duality and that contrast. So we're going to have things that we react to. And so as the intensity increases, we need to really have a beautiful practice in our life that works with us, that encourages us to continue to grow and evolve and change in this beautiful, uncomfortable setting. Yes, I said it, it's beautiful at the same time as being uncomfortable. So remembering in the back of our mind at all times that when we're triggered, we have a chance, an opportunity to shine up like a diamond and become more unshakable in our inner peace. Now, obviously, if we have this goal of having this unshakable inner peace, of being at one with source, of walking in love and seeing that through new lens of perspective in our experience while we're humans, if that's our goal, and I think that's a noble intention in our lives, then we need to put into place something that works for us so that we can embrace these triggers. So what can we do? Okay. Here's what I've been doing. And this has been really, really working. And it definitely, it's all about state of mind. So in the past, when I had triggers in my life, my state of mind would get chaotic. I would start to go into fight, flight, freeze, survival mode, and I would want to run away or fight it. Or I would freeze and not deal with it at all. Okay, so that's not going to work now. And if you haven't already seen that in your life, then it's time to start to open up your eyes and look at it from a higher perspective. Okay, we can't run away from our triggers anymore. So wouldn't it be nice if we could get excited and feel joy and be driven by and inspired by the experience of a trigger? And this is what's been happening for me. So whenever I feel a trigger has been activated, maybe someone has said something, or I've looked at some news, or something's happened in my life, some circumstances have changed, or some external, it's all about external forces, something that we don't like has arisen in our experience as a human. Imagine feeling excited rather than upset. Now, in NLP, we talk about anchoring. Anchoring, if you're not familiar with what anchoring is, if you think about the Pavlovian dog experiment, Pavlov's dogs, and how he would ring a bell and the dog would start salivating because it had been trained to associate that bell with food. Now, this is exactly what we do in neuro-linguistic programming. We can anchor in something external in the world, some physical sensation or experience, with an internal state, with a state of mind. And so what I had done with triggers is I did just that. I anchored in a new state of mind every time I experienced a trigger, which would in the past put me into survival mode and put me into contraction and fear. Rather than now, when I experience a trigger, I am in expansion and I go into love. Yes, that's possible. I can attest to that. Okay, so how do we do that? Firstly, we need to change our state of mind to react according to a new sensation. So we can create that physical move. I'm going to use the example of squeezing your left hand today. I often do this, the squeeze of the left hand, very simple. Okay. So first, we're going to anchor in a feeling of excitement and joy, and that feeling of seeing growth and transformation in a very loving and beautiful, expansive way. Okay, we're going to anchor that into your hand. So I'm not going to do a proper deep meditation, hypnotic induction into this, but I am going to explain it to you so you can try this. So go into a beautiful, safe space, close your eyes, do some deep breathing, and go to a place in your memory where you experienced joy and excitement because you knew you were growing and expanding. Go to that memory. Get it really clear in your mind's eye. Feel all of the sensory experience of that moment, that memory. Taste it, touch it, hear it, see it, feel it, and really soak up that experience again as if you were there. Remembering the mind doesn't know the difference between what's lived in reality and what's imagined in the mind. So we're going back there, we're really creating that experience for us again. And what that's going to do is that's going to start pumping neural peptides, those chemicals in the brain that create that state of mind of joy and excitement. So as you're creating that in your mind, I want you to now squeeze your left hand, and you can dial up the intensity. You can, if you're a very visual person, you can imagine a big dial and like pushing that right up to the extreme of joy and excitement, and keep squeezing that hand, and we're anchoring that in, and we're going to anchor that in. That's called a peak state. We're anchoring in a peak state right now. So once you've done that, you can stack that anchor. That means that throughout the day, anytime you remember that you're building and stacking an anchor and you experience joy and excitement for whatever reason in your day, squeeze that hand. So we're going to stack and stack and stack the intensity of that connection, that brain connection with that act of squeezing your hand and the state. Now, once you've got that in place, that anchor is affirmed. Every time you do this, you feel that joy and excitement. Once you've done that, we can now connect that to triggers. Yes. So every time that you experience something that puts you on the back foot, and previously you would run away from and contract, now instead, I want you to squeeze that left hand and just really connect that joy and excitement to a trigger. Thinking about how this trigger is actually helping you grow, transform, and heal and evolve in your life and shine up like a diamond. It's putting you out of your comfort zone into your discomfort so that you can grow. This is exciting. This is worth celebrating. You are becoming a stronger, more resilient, and joyful person in the process. You're building that unshakable inner peace. Now, I highly recommend trying this out for yourself. It's really worked for me. I actually didn't do a physical anchor, but this is the easiest way to teach and to learn and to anchor that in neurologically, so that it becomes part of your everyday experience. Triggers equals joy and excitement. So enjoy that practice. Definitely give it a try. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share, and have a beautiful day. See ya.